It was one of those late summer afternoons where the sun hung low, spilling gold across a parking lot that smelled like hot asphalt and tailgate smoke. Folks were milling around outside a packed stadium waiting for the next big play inside. That's where Jamal was leaning against a concrete wall near the east entrance, scrolling his phone, just killing time until his buddy showed up. Faded college sweatshirt, frayed cuffs, worn jeans. Nothing about him looked out of place except to the wrong kind of eyes. From across the lot came the heavy stomp of boots. A stocky white cop in his mid-40s, dark blue uniform stretched across his shoulders, jaw clenched like it had been carved that way. He closed the distance fast. No, hello, no excuse me. Just a fistful of Jamal's sweatshirt collar and a slam into the wall so hard the thud echoed over the hum of idling engines. What do you think you're doing, causing trouble in my lot? His voice was low, sharp, the kind that prickles your skin, even if it's not aimed at you. Jamal's hands went up halfway, palms open. I'm just waiting for a friend. Yeah, you all say that. The cop cut him off, eyes scanning him like he was a suspect in some crime he hadn't even invented yet. Phones started coming up in the crowd, a red record light blinking here and there. People froze in that no man's land between conscience and self-preservation. Nobody stepping in, not yet. And that's when Jamal heard it. Faint at first, somewhere beyond the rows of cars, a motorcycle engine. Steady, getting closer. He didn't know why, but it settled something in his chest. The cop leaned in, breath warm and sour. You people always find a way to make trouble. Jamal felt the words hit, but he didn't take the bait. He just kept his gaze past the cop's shoulder toward where the sound was coming from. The crowd shifted, a murmur rippling. Then the engine cut off and a different kind of quiet settled in. Through the opening in the onlookers stepped a tall black man, late 40s, broad-shouldered, in a plain gray t-shirt and worn jeans. His stride was unhurried, but each step landed like it had already been measured. Jamal's face changed, just a flicker, but anyone watching could see the weight lift off him. The man stopped a few feet away, voice calm, almost conversational. Let go of my son. The cop tightened his grip. This doesn't concern you. It does, the man said, eyes locked on him, the second you put your hands on my family. Something shifted in the air. The crowd leaned in like they knew they were about to see a line get drawn. The father took one more step forward, placing himself between Jamal and the cop. They stared at each other, and for a beat, it felt like the whole lot was holding its breath. Then in one clean motion, a pivot, a tight arc of the arm, a fist landed square on the cop's nose. The sound was sharp, the kind that leaves no doubt. Blood sprayed, catching the last bit of sunlight before it fell. The cop stumbled back, hand to his face, eyes wide in shock. Gasps, a couple of, oh my God. The metallic click of camera shutters, everything came alive at once. Jamal stayed put for a second, breathing steady, then bent to pick up his cracked phone. The father didn't advance. He didn't need to. He just stood there, chest rising and falling, slow, the ground that had been the cop's now belonging entirely to him. You don't put your hands on my family, he said, voice carrying, so every ear could hear. Not today, not ever. And that's when the tide turned. People in the crowd found their voices. I saw it. He grabbed the kid first. I've got the whole thing on video. The cop's shoulders hunched, his attempt to square up, melting under the glare of all those lenses. Back home that night, the kitchen smelled faintly of coffee. The father sat at the table with the yellow legal pad, handwriting neat and deliberate, recounting every second while it was fresh. Time, location, words spoken, the grip on Jamal's collar, the crack in the phone screen. Jamal added details of his own, how the cop pressed him harder into the wall when he moved his foot. Every fact went down like it was ammunition for the fight ahead. Over the next days, the video spread. Local pages, group chats. By the second morning, radio stations were talking about that parking lot incident. Folks started calling witnesses, old friends, even people who'd had run-ins with the same cop. A picture started forming, This wasn't his first time. The father was patient. When a young reporter showed up asking for an interview, he said, "Not yet, we pick our moment." That moment came with a community-organized press conference. The room was small, folding chairs set up in neat rows, a banner on the wall. The father spoke first, steady, clear, walking everyone through the scene without an ounce of embellishment. Jamal followed, voice quieter but sure, describing the feel of the wall at his back. The cop's tone the moment he heard the motorcycle. When they finished, the applause broke like a wave. The courthouse came next. Inside, the air was cool. The wood polished, the weight of the room undeniable. The prosecution laid it all out, the video, the witnesses, the cop's record. The defense called it a misunderstanding, just doing his job. When it was the father's turn, he kept it clean and sharp. What happened when it happened, what he saw. Jamal's testimony matched in every detail. There was no drama in their delivery. The truth didn't need it. The verdict was guilty assault and misconduct. Badge permanently revoked. The judge said, "This court will not tolerate those who use authority as a shield for harm." Months later, the parking lot felt different, quieter. Jamal was there with friends, laughing freely, no tension in his shoulders. The father leaned on his truck, watching, remembering every beat of that night. When Jamal walked over, they stood in the same spot it had happened, the wall now just part of the background. "You handled yourself well," the father said. "I had you there," Jamal replied, and the weight in his tone said more than the words themselves. They didn't need to spell it out. Some battles leave scars, but some leave you with proof. Proof that when you stand your ground, when you refuse to be small, you can shift the balance. Now here's where I want to hear from you. Was the father right to step in the way he did, or should he have handled it differently? Have you ever seen power abused right in front of you? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because justice isn't just a courtroom word. It's something we decide together in moments just like this.